It's another Sunday, and it's time to spend more time with New York Post sports columnist Steve Serby. And this week, for his Q&A, Mr. Serby caught up with a current New York Ranger, Vincent Trocheck. Now, it's time to catch up with Steve, who joins me now. Steve, what's going on?
Hey, you'd be happy to learn, or I'll be happy to remind you that Trocheck grew up in Pittsburgh.
That is right. That is right. He did not go to the University of Pittsburgh, so
no, but that's close. That's close enough for you.
Close enough. Yeah, close enough. Close enough for me. Close enough for me. You know,
he loved Primanti Brothers was a go-to for him. Primanti Brothers, you had that, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course I have. Of course I have.
But he's very happy now in New York with the New York pizza, the New York bagels, and the New York deli. He's very pleased with that.
I'm glad he's been experiencing the New York food to its fullest. As anybody who's watched this knows, Steve definitely does as well, too. Steve, Trocheck, you mentioned, he's played for the Panthers and the Hurricanes before signing with the Rangers as a free agent in 2022. How does he like playing at the Garden and playing for an Original Six team? How's he enjoying that?
Well, he loves it when that team is humming the way it's been humming, when the Rangers are imposing their will on other teams. He says it flows. It feels like it flows. The game feels easy. He loves being part of that atmosphere. It's part of the reason he came to New York. He loves the big stage. He's an agitator. He's been told by opponents when he joins them that I hated you. He's a grinder, a fiercely competitive guy. But I believe, and he believes, his offense is underrated. This is a guy who scored 20-plus goals 5 times in his career. He scored 31 in 2017 with the Florida Panthers. So he lives for that moment. He loves the high energy, loud passion of those Ranger fans. And I think he's living the dream right now.
Living the dream. I have a question for you, Steve, because you usually have surprise questions for me. So I have a surprise question for you. In your sports journalism career, has anybody, A, called you an agitator, or also said that they hated you? You know, from maybe a rival newspaper or other media outlet. Has this ever happened?
Yes, it has. I'm not going to name names, but a former Jets quarterback once hurled me into a locker. I don't know. That's before your time. I once was thrown into a pool, which is not good for me because I can't swim. And then another former Jet player lifted me upside down into a garbage pail. So I deserve hazard pay for all these years, don't I?
I would think so. I would think so. Okay. But I thought there was some correlation between you and Trocheck there. You might have had a similar experience. But I was right. So I was okay.
But yes, no, I have been called an agitator, and I'm not going to deny that.
That's good. You haven't agitated me yet. So that is good.
It's coming. It's coming, Dex. It's coming.
All right. I'll be ready. All right, Steve. Well, it's been a great start to the season for the Blue Shirts. They're atop the Metropolitan Division. What does Trocheck like about this Ranger squad, and how good does he think they can be on the ice this season?
Well, he thinks they have what it takes to win a Stanley Cup. Now, he's not offering any guarantees. He's not Mark Messier. Nobody is, but he's got maybe Broadway Joe Namath. But I don't know how much Broadway Joe knows about hockey. Trocheck loves the makeup of this team. He loves the veteran leadership. He loves the culture that Coach Peter Lavalette has installed. And he loves the killer instinct. When the Ranger transition game is at its best, they can put that puck in the net very quickly. He loves centering Panarin and Lafreniere, and who wouldn't? And of course, he didn't go into detail, but he has to love being covered by the great Molly Walker and the Hall of Fame Larry Brooks, right?
I hope he should have mentioned that. He should have mentioned that. They are great at what they do.
Well, maybe he did, but I had to cut it out of the Q&A. But believe me, he has nothing but respect for Molly Walker and Larry Brooks, and we are so happy to have them at the New York Post.
We absolutely are. Shout out to the great Molly Walker and Larry Brooks there. But you need to check out the great job by the great Steve Serby. His Q&A with Vincent Trocheck is pretty good, and I think it's a good one that won't agitate anybody at all. Steve, appreciate you.
See what you did there, Barry. You're so smooth. You are so smooth.
I'm glad you appreciate it. I'm glad you appreciate it. Thank you so much, Steve. I'll see you next Sunday.
I'll agitate you next Sunday.
All right.